G'day team, Mr. Minimalism here with a weekly training tip. Today we're going to be covering off on some setup tips and some helpful little cues for your kettlebell clean. Now the kettlebell clean, I struggled with a lot. This is probably the one that took me the most to master, but after a few little helpful cues from some good trainers, it really helped make my clean nice and smooth, and it actually simplified the movement. So today we're going to look at the setup for our single and double bell clean, because a double clean is useful when it comes to doing things like armor building or double bell complexes. If our clean isn't working, our press and our squat is only as good as the preceding movement. So today we're going to go through single and double bell setup for our clean, some tips you can use for making sure yours is nice and smooth as opposed to that big bashing in the elbow that occurs. And while we do it, a few coaching tips and cues that I use to help people along the way. So let's look at the single bell clean to start off with. Now the two common problems, that I have seen guys use when they go to start their clean. When they learn the swing, they learn that maximal hip snap, that explosive drive, and people try and honestly overpower the clean. So when they come to the clean, they use too much force and that bell comes away from the body, and then therefore they get that bashing of the wrist, and it doesn't look quite as pretty as what it could be. And the other one is over gripping the bell. So make sure your hands are sorted with either some chalk. Make sure you've got no jewelry on that gets in the way, especially watches, because obviously they'll get beaten once we get into that rack position. So our single bell setup for our clean is exactly like our single arm swing that we discussed on an earlier video. So it's standing on the instep of the side you're going to swing, and it's going to point to that opposite foot. From here, the cues are all the same: hip hinge, hands on, set shoulders and shift the weight. And from there, we're going to tame the arc when we use that draw back and that punch through into the clean. So from the side, we're going to come out of the bottom of our hike position, coming up, going to that full lock of the hips, drawing back with the arm and punching through. Now try not to overpower the movement. In this case, we would be looking at the less is more variety of our clean, instead of our swing where we're looking to use that maximal hip force to push that bell out away from the body. So when we set up for the swing, clean, we go into that hip hinge, hands on, set shoulder, nice and smooth, into the rack position, no bashing of the forearm there. And when we come to drop the bell, we stay up nice and tall, we let that bell fall, catch it with the hips, placing on the floor. So like I covered off on earlier, don't overgrip the bell and don't overpower the clean too much. Okay, it takes a lot of practice. We have some improving your kettlebell clean tips on our YouTube channel. 2 drills that really help me tidy up my clean. And now we'll move on to our double bell setup. Now obviously we've got double the weight, but from what I've seen with clients, sometimes they enjoy the double clean a lot better because it's easier to time both sides of your body, and generally people have a weaker side and a stronger side, so you can let that strong side lead the movement and get into a nice, strong, smooth, clean position with double bells. So if you're struggling with your single arm bell, go to double bells, see how you go. So our setup for double bell work is we're looking at a V. Okay, so bells are together, looking at a V over the top of the bell. If you're looking at any other letter, you're doing it wrong. Okay, from here, same cues apply. Hip hinge, hands on, set shoulders, shift the weight to your heels, and then off we go. And into the rack position. Okay, nice smooth once again. And remember, lowering, you've got double the weight hanging off your chest now. So staying up nice and tall, letting the bells fall, catching with the hips and placing down nice and easy. And back to where they started. Okay, with that double bell work, we can really work that draw back and the punch through both hands to work our coordination as well. So from there, we can then stage into our double rack squats, our double press, our alternate press, and any other double bell work we seem we need to do, such as loaded carries, all that great work that works our anterior stabilisation, giving those double bells off the front of our chest, pulling us forward. There you have it, guys, a couple of tips on how to work your kettlebell clean, both single and double. Tune in next week for another weekly training tip, and don't forget, less is more.